What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to yet another video. In today's video, I want to break down how you can start making $500 a day by trading futures. I'm going to show you guys a simple strategy that you can start implementing right away, and also break down the overall point system when trading futures. So if you guys do find value in today's video, make sure to smash that like button, as well as clicking that subscribe and that bell icon would mean the absolute world to me. But without further ado, let's hop into the video. All right, so I do want to start off with the overall point system when it comes to trading futures. Personally, I mainly trade the S&P futures as well as the NASDAQ futures. Now, what a point is let's say that the S&P futures are currently trading at 6,900, for example. Well, if the S&P future, ES, goes up by 1 point, we know exactly how much we are going to make or lose on the trade, which is completely opposite when it comes to options, because options, we could get like a rough guesstimate how much we're going to make or lose. But with futures, it is a set price per point. So if we are trading the normal S&P futures, that is going to be $50 per point. So again, if we were long in the overall market, which means we're looking for price to go up, and price goes up by 1 point from our entry, we're going to make $50. If it goes up 2 points, we're going to make $100. If it goes up 3 points, we're going to make $150. And then vice versa to the downside. Well, if we're risking 5 points on that trade, well, then we're risking $250. Again, every 1 point is going to be equivalent to $50 on the S&P futures. Or for example, let's just say that you went short on this candle right here today and you somehow caught this entire move down. Well, that was almost 110 points. So whatever 110 times 50 equals, it's a lot of profit. But if you are not comfortable with trading the normal S&P futures, you can trade the micro S&P futures, which is going to be MES. Now for this, every point is going to be equivalent to $5. So again, if we went long at 6,900 and it went up to 6,903, well, that's 3 points profit. We're going to make $15 per contract. If we capture 10 points on the micro S&P futures, well, then we're going to make $50 off of those 10 points. So again, you can trade the S&P futures, which is going to be $50 per point, or you can trade the micro S&P futures, which is going to be $5 per point. Now, as far as the NASDAQ futures, the normal NASDAQ futures is going to be $20 per point. So again, if we went long at, let's just say 20,000 and went up to 20,001, well, then we're going to make $20. If it goes up 10 points, we're going to make $200. If it goes up 20 points, we're going to make $400. The thing is with the NASDAQ futures is they move very, very quick. So this one green candle right here ended up being, let's see, about almost 100 points, 95 points. So whatever 95 times 20 equals, that's like $1,900 that you would have made on this one candle right here, which is a crazy amount. Now, volatility is super high right now in the NASDAQ futures, so it is moving a lot more than normal. But if you do not like the $20 per point, you could trade micro NASDAQ futures, which is going to be MNQ, which is going to equate to $2 per point. So now, every single point that this moves, you're going to make $2 per contract. So if it goes up 10 points, you're going to make $20. If it goes up 20 points, you're going to make $40. If it goes up 30 points, you're going to make $60 per contract. Now, again, deciding between the minis and the micro, it's really up to you. I personally like trading the micros more because one, I can scale out of my position, which you can't really do if you're trading regular NQ or ES because you have to buy less contracts. With MNQ and MES, I can enter with more contracts. Therefore, I can trim out more of my position and let my winners run. And letting your winners run is how you're going to be able to have those $500,000 plus days. And before we jump back into the charts, I want to quickly talk about something I've been exploring that actually fits really well with how I think about the markets. A lot of people look at major sport events and treat them like entertainment. I personally look at them more like price action and probabilities. On Webull, they offer event contracts where instead of trading stocks, you're trading how the market is pricing a specific outcome. Each contract settles at $1 if it happens and $0 if it doesn't. And the price tells you the market's current expectations. And what's interesting to me is it's the same process we use every day in trading. We're reading sentiment, reacting to new information, and managing risk instead of guessing. Prices move as expectations change, and you're not locked in until the end. These markets are regulated and transparent, and right now Webull is offering $0 commissions on big game related event contracts, which makes it easier to explore how these markets actually move. So if you already think in probabilities and market structure, this is just another way to apply that mindset. So if you want to explore these big game event contracts, make sure to check out Webull as they just launched these new products, and I'll be leaving that link down in the description if you want to check it out. So that's a brief summary of the overall point system on MES, ES, MNQ, as well as NQ. And again, I prefer to trade MNQ as well as MES so I can scale out of my positions and capture larger moves within the market. Now, as far as the simple strategy that you can start implementing right away, I will say that I have tons of videos here on my YouTube channel breaking down my other strategies, such as supply and demand, as well as Fibonacci retracements. And those are honestly my highest success when it comes to trading. Those setups are pretty on point almost every single time. And using those strategies, as well as combined with the strategy that I'm going to show you guys today, that's how I was able to make almost $13,000 trading last month. So again, if you guys do want to learn more about those strategies, definitely make sure to go watch those videos. I will be leaving those down in the description. But as far as the strategy that we're going to talk about today, it's all going to be based off of the overnight and pre-market trading session. So what we want to do is we want to focus on that overnight and pre-market session, and we want to find the highest point of price action and the lowest point of price action within that range. So anything from when the market opens, when futures open at 6 p.m. EST, all the way until market open at 9:30 a.m. EST. Again, what we want to do is we want to find the lowest point of price action. We want to take our line and we want to mark that lowest point of price action. And then we want to find the highest point of price action and we want to mark that as well. So now from here, what we are going to look for is for either price to break above the high of this overnight session or to break below the low of this overnight session. Typically, if we stay in this range, unless we trade to a supply or demand zone or a fib level, I'll typically avoid trading. So step number one is to look for the break above the overnight highs or for the break below overnight lows. Now you can either look to trade the breakout. It's not my favorite. Sometimes I will. It just really depends on overall price action and do we have any resistance above or do we have any support below? So you can trade the breakout or breakdown. I'll show you an example of that. But what I really like to see is for price to come back and retest this range. So again, either retest that overnight low or come back and retest that overnight high. If we can do that and we can get confirmation within the price action, and what I mean by that is if price pulls back into this overnight high, well, I want to see bullish price action at this level. So I want to see long lower wicks, absorption at those wicks, bullish hammers, dragonfly dojis, other bullish candles in general, telling me that buyers are present at this overnight high. If I can see that, then I'm open to taking a long trade to the upside with a stop loss set right below this area. Well, I wouldn't say set, but like a mental stop loss. If price were to break back down below this overnight high, then I would get out of the trade. It would be the same thing if we were trading this pre-market low retest right here. Well, what I would be looking for is bearish price action at this level. So I want to see absorption at the wicks, long upper wicks, any bearish confirmation to actually get short off of this previous low over here. If we can get that, well, then I'm looking to take a short entry, and my stop loss is going to be if price gets back up above this previous low. Again, mental stop loss. I do not use hard stop losses in the market. Most of the time, the market is going to wick a hard stop and then continue in your favor. So we actually have to invalidate the level in order for me to take the trade. So that is the overall strategy that I like to look for using the overnight highs and lows. Again, I like to combine this with supply and demand as well as Fibonacci retracement levels. So if we're looking at today, for example, this was our overnight low. Here is where the market opened last night. And then here is where the New York market opened right here. So again, what we want to do is we want to find our highest point of price action, which is right here, and we want to mark it. Next, we want to find our lowest point of price action in the overnight session, which was right here. Now, as we can see, price traded in this range. I had no supply on NQ until like way, way higher. And then overall, I had no demand today. Now, if demand was like, right here, then I wouldn't care about this strategy. Say our demand zone was right there because, what are we trading? Like that micro move right there? No. If demand ended up being, all the way down here, then yes, I would still use this strategy. So again, it really depends like where is the next key level within the market. So we had no demand today. Even if we did have demand and it was way lower down here, this is still enough of a range to trade. But what we are looking for, again, is for price to either break above this high right here for continuation, or for price to break below this low right here for more downside. Now, as we can see, price did break below that low and it ended up continuing a lot lower today. Now, today we did not get the retest of this previous low. We're not always going to get it. So again, it depends on you as a trader. Did an entry right here make sense to you? Maybe. As long as you understand your overall risk, then you could have potentially caught a trade right here. So this is the 5-minute candle that closed below this overnight low. Sometimes I'll even break it down to a 2-minute time frame. So let's pull that up right here. This is where the 2-minute closed below. Again, we can see that there was no retest based on the 2-minute. Typically with this strategy, I will use a 2 or a 5-minute time frame to time my entry. So as we can see, we break below this overnight low right here. The candle is very, very weak and we close below it. So if this confirmed for you to go short, you would be going short at the close of this 5-minute candle. Your stop would be if price broke back up above this overnight low right here. And then from there, you can see that the overall market dropped a lot higher. So let's just say that you caught this trade into right here. Well, even here, I mean, that was still 350 points. That's a lot on NQ. Let's say you only caught 100 points. Let's say you caught it into like here, for example, right? Well, if you had 2 MNQ, remember 2 MNQ, every point is going to be $2. So your risk on this trade was about 51 points. So you're risking $102 per contract on this trade. So if you bought 2, let's actually go into replay mode and let's replay this right here. We go short at the close of this candle. We short 2 of these. Again, our stop loss is going to be $204 or $206, whatever. And the take profit, if you sold all of it right here, was about $400. Well, if you caught more, again, this is based off of 2. Usually I'll trade like anywhere from 5 to 10 MNQ. $500 is going to be right here. As we know, the market went a lot lower today. So we're just going to put it all the way down here. So within these next couple or actually the next candle, it was already up 100 points. Now, off of that, based off of these 2, currently you were up 269. You were up 100 points. So you're up about like $400 at the low of this candle. Let's go ahead and let's just keep this going. At this point, again, you're up $400. You could slide your stop loss to break even, maybe take one of these off, and then boom, right there, you're up over $500 just on 2 MNQ contracts. Again, there is a lot of volatility right now, so you can make a lot more money right now in the market than when volatility dries up. But equally, you do have to keep that in mind. When volatility is higher, you're going to be using lower size. When volatility is lower, that's where I'll increase my size, or if the risk to reward is very good. So just based off of this right here, you could have made more than $500, okay? Let's just say that you go ahead and you close one of these. Remember, you have to let your winners run within the market. That is the most important thing. If you want to start making those $500, $1,000, $1,500 days, you have to be good at letting your winners run, okay? So even on this drop right here, let's let it run a little more right there, you know, you're up $790 on just one of these MNQs. So overall, this is up 416 points. Again, that's a lot right now. I'll show you guys different examples, but this just goes to show why leaving runners is so important. You could have sold all of it right here, or you could have sold one, slide your stop loss to break even, and then see what happens with the remainder of that position. So based off of that one trade, if you were to trade it exactly like that, you could have made $1,167 as you see right here. Let's go ahead and find another example. I think actually gold gave a really good example to the upside today. So let's pull up GC. Again, here's our overnight high. Here's our overnight lows way down here. So obviously, you know, we're a little more bullish on the day. Here's our overnight high. Price gets above it. Pretty big breakout, right? Again, typically I will look for price to come back and retest. If you took the retest right here, you simply stopped out. That's part of it. But if you traded the breakout, let's scale it down to a 2-minute time frame. Even here, I mean, we got really, really close for a retest on this 2-minute candle right here. So if you ended up going long, maybe you went long at the close of like this break and retest right here. Stop is going to be if price fails to hold above that previous high. And then as far as the take profit, again, we're looking for bare minimum, a 1-to-1 risk to reward, maybe slightly more. And then from there, you're looking to scale your stop loss up. So on this trade, you caught about like a 2-hour trade. This moved about 28 points. So if you traded normal gold, that's $2,800 per contract when you were risking about $1,400 per contract. Or if you traded MGC, you're risking about $140 per contract to make $280 per contract. So again, if you caught two, and let's just say that you sold at the top, well, then you would have made over $500. If you bought two and you sold one, and then you put your stop loss at break even, you made $280. If you bought more than two, again, depending on how you trimmed, you could have easily made over $500. Now, if we look at ES yesterday, we can see that this was our overnight high. So what we're going to do is we are going to mark that high, and then we're going to mark this low. Again, wait for price to either break above or below. As we can see right here, price started to break above that previous overnight high. And then what did it do? It pulled back and it retested it right here as support 2 times, giving a potential long entry. So again, if you ended up going long, whether it was at the close of this 5-minute candle or at the close of this 5-minute candle, I like this one a little more. It's, way more bullish than this doji. So let's just say that we went long there. Our stop loss is going to be if price fails to hold above this overnight low. So you're risking about 6 points, which is either going to be $300 if you're trading ES or $30 if you're trading MES. And then from there, on that next move up, this moved about almost 20 points, which is going to equate to almost $100 per contract on MES or almost $1,000 per contract on ES. Let's say you traded some MES, you took a trim up here, you moved your stop loss to break even, or even if you were trading ES, you took a trim, you move your stop loss to break even, price pulled back, it got close to hitting that break even point. However, it did not. And then the market continued going higher for about 37.5 points. So let's just round up to 40 points for simple math. 40 points on the S&P futures would be $4,000 per contract. And then 40 points on MES would be $200 per contract. So again, you guys can see as long as you're able to trim your position, move your stop loss up, and let your winners run, that's how you're going to be able to easily obtain $500 plus days. Let's go ahead and look at one more example right here. So this is our overnight high on the S&P futures. Price breaks above it pretty much right off the rip. So we break above it. You could have even honestly marked this high right here. Doesn't matter. But either way, we broke above it. We pulled back, we retested it, and we reclaimed it. It happened literally right off the rip of market open. So if you didn't catch it, I understand. But again, this is a really good example. Price breaks above, pulls back down, reclaims it. It's looking super bullish. Depending on where you actually ended up going long on this trade though, whether it be on this pullback in the retest or maybe a little later into this 5-minute candle right here, we can still see that the market made a substantial move higher, which again offered a lot of opportunity to make money. But that is going to wrap up this video on how to make $500 a day trading futures. Again, I like to piece this strategy together with my overall supply and demand strategy, as well as Fibonacci retracement strategy. So if you guys have not checked out those videos, highly suggest you guys do so. Other than that, everybody have an amazing rest of your day. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. I go live every single morning for New York market opens, so I expect to see all of you there. Peace out, and I'll see you guys in the next video.